All right, so following on from our copywriting, I want to quickly touch on ChatGPT. Obviously, this is a massive trending topic at the moment. People using ChatGPT and AI to write copy. And I've used a few different services that sort of offer ChatGPT or some kind of AI chat built into a paid service that they've built up. And I've never really thought that they were that good. Nothing much different than what you'd be able to do if you were to just go to ChatGPT on your own with the whatever it is, $20 a month subscription. Potentially even, I don't even know if ChatGPT still have a free subscription. I pay, I think, $20 a month. And that's ample for what I need it for. I still prefer human written copy, okay? Especially from killer copywriters that are experienced in this. So that is still my preferred method. However, the one downside, as mentioned, to human copywriters is the time and the expense, but mainly time. Right? I know we can recoup the expense. With the time, it's so easy to just use ChatGPT or an AI service to whip out 10 different hooks, 10 different headlines, 10 different primary text, 10 different scripts. And I think that part of it is key. It is really beneficial to using AI is just the speed of implementation. And once you've got it to a point where it is kicking out fairly decent stuff, it can work really well. What I wanted to do here is I just wanted to share an example of a prompt that I would use for ChatGPT. Not gonna, we could spend hours doing this, right? The copywriting content that I've put in this course, again, my own experience, my own opinion, my own skills. I am in no sense a copywriter. I am in no sense good at writing copy. Some of the copy that I've written for my own ads have gone on to make millions of dollars. I don't know if that's an accreditation to my skills. I don't think it is. I think it's probably more to do with the offer. And at the time, I maybe got lucky with some of the ads. But there's people out there that write seriously good copy. So anyway, sort of going off on a tangent there. Let's go on and take a look as to what something I would prompt ChatGPT with to get my, that speed of implementation, so I can get my copy that I can test and my headlines that I can test and et cetera, right? So I've written a prompt and I don't know if you need to sweet talk ChatGPT like the way I do. I've seen people do it. I've seen people treat ChatGPT and talk to ChatGPT and prompt ChatGPT as if they were a real human. So I've sort of gone along with that. And in every one of my prompts, I always start with hello and hey, and then, basically talk to them as to how I want them to act today. So to break it down, hey chat, today I need you to be a world-class direct response copywriter who specializes in writing ad copy for meta ads, primary text, and headlines. You're one of, if not the best in the world at what you do, and your skills are up there with Gary Halbert and a bunch of different direct response copywriters, some old, some new. I've got Stefan Georgi and Gary Benson Wenger and a couple of others, and then some of the old school guys. And the reason why I'm doing this is obviously ChatGPT ultimately, in my eyes, again, I'm not an AI expert, but ultimately has access to the web, right? The library. They're able to look things up. So if we're name dropping, I'm kind of hoping that ChatGPT is going to sort of search for these people to get an idea of who they are, what they write, their style, etc., some of their best ads. And this all happens in seconds, right? That obviously ChatGPT is just like a massive brain computer. Again, I'm not an expert. I don't know if that's the case. It's just me assuming as to what ChatGPT and AI is. But the idea is that they take and search for what these names and the style that they write in and blah, blah, blah. And we can sort of hopefully implement that into our ads. I don't know if I need to do it or not. I just end up doing it, and it's worked so far. So I won't stop doing it. Do you know what I mean? Okay, and then what I want them to do, you specialize in writing copy with a certain tone and framework. You write all of your ads in a first-person story-based format, filled with emotion and to provoke curiosity. That's all our ad is, right? Story-based. If you go through the spy tools and you're looking through your niches and your offers, you will notice that 99% of the ads written for these health offers, for ClickBank, Buy Goods, MaxWeb, Digistore, are all story-based. They are all with a story-based format from a first-person perspective. The person of the page, the advertiser, the actual page, is writing the ad from their own perspective. This happened to me, da-da-da-da-da, I found the solution, da-da-da-da-da, right? Now, the framework that we write is, or that I recommend you write, is OPAS. So OPAS. I don't actually know if it's a legit framework. I know PAS is, or PAS, which is Problem, Agitate, Solution. I don't know if I've just added my own, acronym to the start as outcome, but that is how I write my ads, and that is how I like to have my ads written, is leading with the outcome. So the desired outcome of the market. So as we can see, your copy always starts with the target market's desired outcome first. The opening hook is the outcome, okay? What does this person want? And then, for this example, the story-based ad written for a weight loss offer. So, OMG, I'm still pinching myself. I've gone from 244 to 153 and feeling and looking 20 years younger. That could be someone's desired outcome. Now, obviously, we could make that a lot fucking better. Again, I already told you, I'm not the world's best copywriter. I'm not the village's best copywriter. I'm definitely not a good copywriter, but I write copy, and this is something that I've written before. And it's worked. This actual ad has gone on to do pretty well. Okay. And so we've got this, OMG, I'm still pinching myself. That's sort of like attention grabbing opening line. I'm still pinching. Why are you still pinching yourself? OMG, why? Right. What's going on? And then I've gone from, 244, nearly losing, 90 odd pounds. And obviously you can see I'm not mentioning pounds. I'm not mentioning LBS. It's pretty obvious what this means. And I think Facebook have cottoned on, or Meta have cottoned on to what this means. But there's no direct mention as to, that actual, weight metric. All right. Or imperial, whatever it is. I don't know what it is. But anyway, feeling and looking 20 years younger. That's probably another thing that's going to be, a desired outcome to someone who is maybe obese or quite overweight. They also want to look a bit better, right? They want more confidence, etc., etc. So there's a few things that we can play on here. All right, then it leads into a huge problem or pain point that's common in the target market. And again, like this example. So then going into the age, right? Getting old. I can finally enjoy playing with my grandkids. So this part is a little bit more play on the outcome, but leads into some of the pain points, right? Without my feet throbbing or being out of breath after 30 seconds. So again, problems could be aching joints, can't walk more than 5 minutes without being in pain, either with the joints or the feet, swelling, right? Being out of breath, can't enjoy time with the grandkids without, being, close to a heart attack or just completely passing out through lack of oxygen. All pain points, right? People's pain points, especially, grandparents, is going to be able to spend a decent amount of energy zooming around with their hyperactive grandkids, right? Who are really wanting that, to kick a football around or to do whatever, playing hide and seek or TIG or whatever it is, right? Being able to just sit on the floor and have princess tea parties or play Play-Doh or whatever it is, play Lego. That's a feat if you're 60 years old and overweight and achy joints. You can't sit on the floor for longer than a minute or two, right? So these are all pain points that we got to think of when we get we got to get ourselves into the perspective and the mindset of our target market. So, for weight loss, that might mean getting yourself into a 55, 60-year-old woman's mindset. For skincare, it might be the same, right? Sort of same demographic. For ED, it might be going into like a 55-year-old man who, or you can obviously, depending on the niche that you're going in and the offer that you're going in, You're going to have to think of that for yourself, right? All right. And then we lead into agitating the problem further. So we've got in from the outcome into the problem or pain point, and then into agitating. So now I was £244. We have used that metric there with zero confidence. I hated myself every time I caught a glimpse of my reflection in a mirror or window. I can't believe I got that big. It's like it came out of nowhere after having my 2 kids. It just never left me. All right, so now we've agitated the problem further, right? The confidence issue, zero confidence, hated myself, hated the look of myself, right? This is something that, someone who is overweight or obese could be experiencing, right? They can't stand the look of themselves in the mirror, which is sad to say, right? But it's a very true fact as to what people could be experiencing. And again, there's usually a catalyst as to where this weight came from. And quite often for a woman, especially, 50, 60 years old, that catalyst could have been from their 30s when they had kids. And obviously they put on weight during the pregnancy and just never managed to shake it and get back to the size that they were before. It's quite common, right? It's quite common. So we're really playing into that. And then we lead into this. For years, I'd been wearing baggy plus size clothes to hide my shape and size. I felt completely miserable. And what was my solution? Yep, gorging on rubbish food. So again, we're really resonating with this target market, okay? And this is obviously a little bit of writing your own copy plus ChatGPT. I wrote this, probably a year or so ago. And I've tailored it as I've gone to suit different offers. But again, it's been responsible for a good chunk of change. But the reason why I'm showing you it here is we can use it in a prompt. We're giving ChatGPT an example of an ad that we want them to take note of and then obviously rewrite almost, okay? And then we finally close with the solution and the call to action. And this is probably the biggest part because we've gone from, this agitating the pain points to then everything changed whilst looking for an even bigger pair of jeans in the local thrift store. I made my way to the checkout when I noticed a stunning lady walk into the store with an armful of clothes. Walked right past her. I'm not going to read all this because it's quite long. Good 15 years ago, blah, blah, blah. Again, you'll see this, and you'll see this very same format in a lot of ads, okay? They bump into someone that they knew, whether it be in the restaurant, whether it be in the grocery store, whether it be on the street, and, they look amazing. They didn't recognize her, blah, 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 blah. They ask what they've done, what the secret is, and go on to send them or show them a video. And it's our video. It's our VSL to the offer. And obviously, the WhatsApp link was sent. 3 weeks later, I look like a new woman. I feel incredible. Finally got my confidence back. Tap below to see the offer, right? And Japanese tonic is relevant to the offer that this was pushing at the time. And then we go back to the prompt. I want you to write a similar ad using the same format and tone, using a curiosity offer hook, Japanese Mountain Tonic. So what we do is we take all of this and copy, and you would change it to suit whatever, right? We go over to ChatGPT and we paste it in here and hit enter, and we see what we come up with. And we hope we get something good. Okay, so first off, the ChatGPT is, sort of taking note. So absolutely be delighted to craft a story that could sit proudly alongside the works of the legends you mentioned. Here's a narrative for the Japanese Mountain Tonic, tailored to captivate and convert. So every morning I wake up with disbelief, staring at my reflection with wide eyes. It's like watching years reverse in the mirror. My journey from 215 to 165 has been nothing short of miraculous. But more astonishing, I feel invigorated, bursting with energy I thought was lost to my youth. So rewind to a few months ago and you'd find me at my lowest. At 45, juggling a demanding job and family left me drained, health sidelined my weight, blah, 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 leaving me gasping for breath with my... So you can see, this isn't gripping me too much. It isn't, really shouting out to me. Some of it's okay. Some of it's okay, but I for some reason, I don't like this opening. So I'm just going to tell him how it is. No, I don't like it. Try again, but with more and more pain in the problem section. Okay. I woke up this morning, tears streaming down my face, not from sadness, but from sheer unbridled joy. The person staring back at me from the mirror was yet not the me I've been. See, that started off like it could be pretty good, but then it's just gone a little bit like, I don't really like how that sort of, the person staring back at me from the mirror was me, yet not the me I've been. Just, it's like a little bit of a tongue twister almost. I'm not really too keen on. Some of the rest of it's pretty good. I'm feeling it's it's maybe a similar length. I feel like this could be, compressed a little bit. Still not happy with it though. Better, but make flow smoother. Yeah, it's way too long, this. See what happens if we cut it down. It's just not grasping what we want it to grasp. And I see this we've started a new chat, okay? So this is something that I wanted to point out as well, is when we, start a new chat like we have here, where, this was started from scratch, we have to spend a little bit of time tinkering with ChatGPT to get it into the flow of what we want. Because I'm going to show you something now. I'm going to quickly pause it. All right, so check this out. So this has been the exact same prompt, right, that I've just dropped here. But this is in a chat that has been ongoing for quite a while. Different ED offers, I think some weight loss, some dental offers that we've had in here as well. We've had headlines, we've had hooks, we've had primary texts, right? So we can see here that, there's quite a decent amount of back and forth with chat, tinkering, getting it right, and where we want it to be. And what I wanted to show you now is I just dropped the same exact prompt in this chat because I wanted to show you the difference of quality. And then we got this back. Just when I thought hope was lost, I discovered a Japanese mountain tonic that has transformed me from 210 to 135. It's like I've turned back the clock, shedding years along with the weight. That already sings way better than what we were seeing in that the chat that we were just looking at. For too long, I struggled with the reflection in the mirror. At 45, I should have been at my prime, but instead I felt trapped in a body far older, weighed down by excess pounds I couldn't shed. No matter what I tried, my joints ached, my breaths were short, and the scale only seemed to climb. There's our problem, right? I was drowning in a sea of failed diets and fleeting motivation. Each attempt at weight loss ended in disappointment, leaving me more disheartened than before. I was almost ready to give up, resigning myself to a life hidden behind layers of clothing, avoiding cameras and mirrors alike. That's the agitate. But fate had other plans. During a desperate online search for yet another diet plan, I stumbled upon a thread buried in a wellness forum. It spoke of a Japanese mountain tonic, a simple morning ritual unknown to the Western world, yet revered in remote Japanese villages, revered in for its miraculous weight loss properties. So that is the perfect length and also flows pretty damn well. Okay, so see the difference between the things. So one of the things that I want to point out is once you start, don't start a new chat for each of your, tasks or prompts that you want. If you're doing ad copy, keep it all in the same chat. okay? All in the same task or whatever you want to call it. Because as you build upon that chat, the AI is just learning and learning and learning and eventually obviously developing. And before you know it, after you've tinkered it and said, no, I want it this way and that way, and here's another example, and here's a dental offer, and here's a weight loss offer, and here's a this offer and that offer, it's just learning and learning and learning. And then you just drop the same prompt and you get a completely different response. So I wanted to show you that. So let's jump back to here because this is more in line with the length. But I still don't like the opening outcome. Write it in a more conversational tone, as if you were telling someone face to face. See if we can get something a bit better. It's better. I like that more than the sort of the sort of text that they were using, the wordplay that they were using. All right, so guess what? I woke up today, looked in the mirror, and honestly, I did not recognize myself. I'm down 50 pounds and feeling like I turned back the clock. Seriously, it's wild. So, and another thing with ChatGPT is we don't have to use this verbatim. We could use it as a base. I often will edit this and use it for ideas and inspiration, and then I'll start writing my own stuff and weaving my own stuff in between, right? So, for instance, that opening outcome, we could quite easily buffer that up and make it punch a little bit harder. We could add numbers from this weight to that weight. We could add loss. I look 20 years younger. Blah blah blah. I've got like bundles more energy, etc., etc. So we could definitely amplify this a little bit more, but use it as a base, right? I like the guess what. I like that guess what, and I like woke up today, looked in the mirror, da da da. Again, we're going off that pain point of them hating themselves, right? They don't like the look of themselves in the mirror. They avoid mirrors at all costs. So the outcome that they looked in the mirror and didn't recognize themselves, that could be a real good key point that would drive people in, okay? For the longest time, I felt stuck, like watching life from the sidelines while my body and spirit just didn't match up. Every glance in the mirror was a reminder of joy I was missing out on. Hiding behind baggy clothes became my norm, avoiding any real look at myself. But this part for me, I don't like. Then this one time at a reunion, I bumped into Ellie. You remember Ellie, right? Well, she looked at... So this is, again, because we've gone a little bit more conversational and face-to-face, it's sort of bringing this in. I wouldn't obviously have that because there's no way the reader would know or remember Ellie. Well, she looked amazing and happy. She leaned in. So it sort of loses its way. I like the opening line, but it's just not punching hard enough. Again, maybe because we've shortened it down a bit. This is better, but I need it to punch harder. The outcome needs to really hook the reader in, and the problem needs to really twist the knife and be super relevant to the target market, who are desperate. I'm going to give it a little bit of a longer prompt here. Desperate to lose weight. They are constantly suffering from joint pains, muscle fatigue, shortness of breath, acid reflux, and other aches and pains. They have zero confidence in themselves. They hate the look of themselves in their mirror. They wear plus size clothing and are desperate to find a quick fix to lose weight easily. All right, so let's see what happens there. Okay, I like that. I quite like that opening outcome. This is way better, okay, so far. Okay, so I read it. Okay, you're not going to believe this. Just a few months back, I finally cracked the code to dropping those stubborn pounds. And not just a little, I'm talking a massive shift that's turned everything around for me. Picture this, I'm lighter, way more energetic, and feeling like I've hit a reset button on life. I like that outcome. Let me paint a picture of where I was at. Every single day was a struggle. My joints were screaming, muscles always fatigued like I'd run a marathon in my sleep, and don't get me started on the constant huffing and puffing. Acid reflux, my nightly nemesis. I was in this constant war with my body, wearing plus-size clothes like armour, trying to hide from every reflective surface. Confidence, shattered. I like it. It's pretty good. The worst part, I felt stuck in this cycle. Desperate for something, anything that could offer a sliver of hope. I tried it all, every fix out there, but nothing stuck. It felt like I was destined to live in this state of perpetual discomfort and self-loathing. Then, bam, a reunion turned game changer. An old friend, practically unrecognisable because she looked amazing, spilled her secret. A Japanese mountain tonic. Honestly, I was all ears, but sceptical. Yet what she described wasn't just another diet fad. It was like she handed me the key to a locked door I'd been banging on for years. That night, glued to my screen, I watched the video she sent. It wasn't just eye-opening, it was like a freaking revelation. The next morning, I started my day with the tonic, a mix of hope and doubt swirling in my cup. But here's the real kicker. It worked. The pound started to melt, energy levels shot up, and those aches and pains diminished. Every morning, that tonic didn't just refresh my body, it rebooted my whole life. Now I'm just not surviving each day, I'm thriving. My reflection smiles back, confidence rebuilt. I'm living proof that change is possible, that there's a way out of the despair of constant pain and self-doubt. Curious? I bet. This Japanese mountain tonic isn't just a drink, it's a lifeline for anyone who's been where I was. If you're sick of the quick fixes that never work, this could be the answer you've been searching for. Boom. I like it, man. That's pretty good. So, obviously that took a little bit of tinkering to get to something that's, that's okay. That's pretty good in my eyes. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm not a copywriter. For me, I think that's decent. I'd be quite happy to run that. For some, that could be terrible. I don't know. But see how we really had to tinker with it. Or in total, it wasn't that bad. It didn't take too long. Got team mascot. Hello, pup. I don't know if you can see him. Oh, I can't see you, mate. Good lad. But yeah, so it wasn't too much effort there. Like what have we been on? 20, nearly 30 minutes to get that level of content. There he is, just saying hello. Helicopter flying over, I think. To get to this level of quality, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So, but now we've got it right. ChatGPT understands what we want to see. So I think what we can do now is we can ask for some headlines, but also some hooks. The way we want to structure this, right? Because I'm going to use this for our testing, is I want to now say this is brilliant. Exactly. I'm telling chat what, this is what we want. This is the style that we want. Exactly what I'm looking for. Now, can you give me 9 other variations of outcome, keeping the exact same format as the outcome you just did, but changing it up. So hopefully that makes sense. But now because ultimately I want 10 different hooks, okay? I want 10 different headlines. And, that allows us to start testing when we come to running the ads. So it's lost its way a little bit there. We could use these, like I've done it before where, one thing that we don't want to get stuck in is making the judgments ourselves. Now, obviously, if it's terrible, you got to probably know it's terrible. But if, I'm looking at this and I'm like, I don't know if I really like it. I'm not the target market. I'm trying to put myself in the target market's mindset. But ultimately, I don't know if this would work with a 60-year-old woman who's obese, okay? So we have to keep that in mind. I've done, exactly what I'm doing here, what I'm teaching you here, where I've got 10 hooks, okay? And that lead into my primary text. And I've tested those 10 hooks thinking, and I've just took them verbatim from ChatGPT. And I've been like, these aren't that great. But for the speed of implementation, I'm going to chuck them up. And 2 of them absolutely smashed it out of the park. And I was like, I wouldn't have ran them if it wasn't just for speed, right? So now we have this. So also Chat's gone ahead and give us the you won't believe your eyes variation, energy through the roof variation, pain be gone, the reunion, clothes shop enjoy, active lifestyle, healthy inside and out. So we've got a few different little concepts here that are quite good. Okay, so family time reimagined. That could be a massive outcome for some people. Picture being a parent at a playground who's running and laughing alongside their kids. That's huge. Not watching from a bench, losing over 40 pounds has allowed me to blah, blah. That's a fantastic little outcome. Could it be better? Probably, but it's a great idea, right? That family time reimagined. The whole idea here with us testing these different hooks is to try and find a messaging that's going to resonate with the audience the most. So by having 10 different hooks, 10 different outcomes with 10 different styles. So we've got this family time, confidence, healthy inside and out, active lifestyle, clothes shop enjoy, the reunion, pain be gone, energy through the roof. We now have 10 different variations that each one could resonate with a different section of the audience, right? That's key. It's paramount. I'm happy with this. I've not really read each one, but I'm just going to go with it. And, that took us, all of 30 seconds to write a new prompt to get 10 new hooks. Now we have 10 hooks to implement and to start our message testing when we launch our ads. Fantastic. All right, so now let's go and say, these are brilliant. These are great. Keeping the same different that doesn't make any sense. The same variations. Can you now give me 10 meta ad headlines, keeping the same format and tone and utilizing the different variations? Not meat, we want meta. 10 different variations, max character limit per headline is no more than 60 characters. All right, let's see what they get. See, this ChatGPT has serious issues with this format of headline. I can't remember what that's actually called, but I hate it. No, they need to flow better and as if you are speaking to someone. I spelled that wrong, but no, I'm not liking it. It's doing my head in a bit here, and actually that's got me thinking about the outcomes as well. It's gone from, what we're seeing here now, thinking about it, is we're not getting that first person. It's third person, right? It's talking about you, what you're going to get. I need them to be in a first person story format, talking about your own experiences and outcome. Okay, some of these could work, but I still see this freaking ... Do not use that freaking thing. Make them free flow freely. That's better. See that with this ChatGPT, it's just constant like, no, do it like this. No, try again. No, don't use that. No, and then finally, finally, like 2 or 3 prompts and we're there, right? I'd be happy with that. Okay. And what you can see here as well, there's nothing that's going to cause any issue here. There's no crazy claims. There's no like, oh, I've, lost £1 million. I say £1 million. It sounds like cash. And I lost, £70 overnight, blah, blah, blah. Some of these headlines could work. And the less punching in your face, which, could go against us in the fact that they might not create the curiosity and pique the interest as much. But they're a lot safer. And they're playing into different concepts and angles, which I quite like. Okay, so that's better. There we go. That's a lot better. So I could see these working. A little bit shorter as well, which I like. We want to try and keep, when you see a Facebook ad, especially in mobile, you're literally seeing the top 2 lines before the see more. So you want to try and fit as much of this opening outcome hook into those, into the space that they can see before they have to click see more, right? Because this is what's going to grip them. So I like that. I think that's what we're going to go with. We've got our headlines, we've got our hooks and our main body. So now what we do in our message testing, which obviously we'll go through in a sec, but basically we're just going to, was that the one that we had? Yeah. We're just going to replace the opening outcome with each of those new outcomes. Okay, so again, a little bit longer than usual. I apologize, but obviously it's quite a detailed, in-depth training. I'm going to share the prompt in the notes below in the description, which you can take hold of. But have a play around with it. Have a play around with it. See what you can get ChatGPT doing for you. As long as there's no crazy claims, as long as there's no crazy keywords like lose fat, burn fat, melt fat, you're going to be good. And again, just use that same format. Just keep tinkering it, keep on giving it prompts and telling it what you want. And then once you've got it starting spitting out stuff that's good, tell it that it's good. And then, ask for more, ask for the same format, etc., rewrite stuff. And you'll be good. But it's a great tool, especially for speed and implementation. As you can see, we can get good quality as well. Again, I still prefer the human element, but I don't have 7 days to wait to get the exact same sort of amount of words, right? We want it done within 30, 40 minutes. So there we go. So any questions, let me know, and I shall see you in the next video.